What my lack of boundaries has taught me throughout my life. Hi, I'm Leanne, and welcome to my channel. I say this with love 33. I created this channel to be a safe, raw, true, authentic space to bring knowledge and wisdom and insight into everyday issues that we all deal with. Some of us are more intense, some of us are less intense, but I'm offering you what I know. So give it a listen. If you like it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Today, I want to talk about lack of boundaries. And if you're a person out there that is in this space of not having boundaries, I feel you. I lived this way for the first 54 years of my life. And I want to offer you what I have learned to perhaps trigger something within you, scratch the surface, get you feeling a little something like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's so much like me, and I don't want to feel like this anymore. So let's get into this. I started very young in life without having boundaries. I gave up my boundaries. Now, I don't know what, well, I do know why now. I've gotten to the space where I know what it takes to heal and why we do what we do and why we repeat patterns, why we have certain tendencies to do things. And so I'll share that with you, and that's going back and healing your wounded inner child and generational trauma. But throughout the first 54 years of my life, I wasn't aware of that. I had a lot of lessons to learn and a lot of things to maybe try to wake me up, but it never worked. Because as I've mentioned in my other videos, I'm a person that takes a long time to learn things, and I'm hard-headed and I'm stubborn. So, and I'm tough and strong. So I'm like, no, I got this. I got this. Keep bringing me lessons. Let's do this. So let me talk about lack of boundaries. In my marriage, which was, well, that's over now. I am divorced and have learned a lot, but in my marriage and in my relationships, I didn't have boundaries. I allowed anything to take place. I allowed myself to be verbally abused, emotionally abused, mentally abused. I was gaslit. I was laughed at. I was made fun of. And all these things that I allowed to happen because I did not have boundaries were nobody else's fault except my own. And I understand that because these are things that I had to learn. And having a lack of boundaries, which goes way back into our early childhood, is a cry for help, basically. And you begin to, well, you don't even begin to, you don't have any, at least I didn't, and everybody that I come in contact with pretty much has these same tendencies. There's no self-worth, there's no self-confidence, there's no love for ourselves. We don't understand the magnitude of who we are and the strength that we have within. I personally didn't have any of those things. I had no self-worth, no self-confidence, no self-love. Yeah, I might have come across as like, I got it all going on and I'm tough and I'm fun and I'm a survivor. Yeah, let's go have a great life. But inside, I was broken and wounded. Hence, there was no boundaries. So a story that I want to share with you guys, because this story can offer some insight to where I was at this space in my life where I was like so broken and so filled with fear and guilt and shame. So this was many years ago, and my kids were probably in high school, and we had my daughter, my son, and my son's girlfriend, who's now my daughter-in-law. We were all going to meet with my ex-husband at a restaurant to have dinner. So me and the kids got there prior. Now, mind you, I had no boundaries, especially with my ex-husband, and I was in a very wounded space in my life where like I was really low. And so we get to the restaurant a little bit early, and I texted my husband to let him know, hey, we're already here. He's like, okay, we'll go order me the food. And I'm like, okay. So by the time he gets there, it'll be at the table. So we're ordering our food, and I ordered him what he asked me to. And then once he got there, the waitress brought a drink and his food over and ours. And he looked at it and he goes, "This isn't what I ordered." And I felt the pit of my stomach get all like nervous and like, oh my God, like what did I do? Did I screw it up? Did I fuck it up? Did I order the wrong thing? Oh my God, now he's going to be so upset and mad at me. And then I can start to see that rage come about on his face and within his energy. And she goes, "Well, this is what she ordered." And I can't remember what it was. "This is what she ordered." And he looked at me and he said, "I didn't order this. I didn't tell you what to order. You didn't order me what I told you to order." I'm like, "Yeah, I did." I'm looking at my text. I'm trying to find it, but my hands are fumbling and I'm all nervous and like getting sweaty and fearful and getting the feeling of like uncomfortableness because we're in a restaurant and my kids are right there and other people are right there and the waitress is standing right there. So this banter back and forth of her saying, "Well, this wasn't what was ordered, this is what was ordered," and him getting upset at me for not ordering what he told me he thought he told me to order, became this whole convoluted shit show. And the waitress was becoming embarrassed because the ex-husband was like looking at me and he's like, "You didn't order me what I told you to order me. You never listened to me. Can you do anything right? You always fuck everything up." And I sat there and was just like a blank stare. I wanted to die. I can feel the embarrassment, the fear, the guilt, the shame flowing throughout me because right next to me was my children and my son's girlfriend, who are all teenagers listening to this, seeing this, witnessing this. And I was like, I am so embarrassed. I'm so mortified. I'm so fearful, shameful. I'm so filled with guilt. Did I order the wrong thing? I'm such a bad person. Like, so on top of the fear and the guilt and the shame and the embarrassment, I was badgering myself and beating myself up for allowing this to happen. You talk about a wounded space. I wanted to crawl under the table and die. I wanted to get up and run away and hide. I felt so low and I felt so embarrassed. I felt mortified. I felt like pond scum. I felt also at that same moment when all these other feelings are going on, like, "Lee, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you not have any boundaries? Why do you let him talk to you like that?" So like, this is what I'm thinking. Like, there's the angel over here and the angel over here. And the good angel over here is like, "Why do you let him talk to you like that? Why don't you have boundaries? Stick up for yourself. Let him know he's wrong. Like, you ordered exactly what you asked him to." And then the little angel over here, the bad angel's like, "You're such a loser. You're such an idiot. Like, you're always screwing things up and he's right. You bring the worst out in people and you fuck everything up." So I was so in a space of not knowing what to do that I just wanted to die and go inward and crawl into a rock. So me, that night, I just sat there like numb and just kind of ate my food. And I couldn't even look at my kids in the eyes. And it kind of woke something up in me a little bit, just a baby hair. Because when you're in that space and you're so filled with all the things that were going on with the fear and the guilt and the shame and the mortification and the embarrassment and the need to take on all the energies for everybody in every space, I offer you this. You can become aware of these tendencies that you have and the lack of boundaries. And then I'm going to push into that a little deeper. And I do say this with love. Why do we feel like that? Why do we have no self-worth? Why do we have no self-confidence? Why do we feel like we are less than and that we need to let people walk all over us? We need to let people run on us. We need to let everything just knock us down and then we'll just get back up and keep on going. Pushing into those questions of why and then allowing yourself to feel, that can bridge that space of not having boundaries to learning why we don't have boundaries, and then getting to the space of like, oh yeah, like I need to go in and heal that, because you can't go on, or you're not going to want to go on through your entire life of not having boundaries. If you're out there and you feel this and you heard my story and you like, oh God, like I'm the same way, and I let everybody trample on me, I let everybody take advantage of me, I let everybody just do whatever they want and say whatever they want, and I just allow it to happen. Feel into that. Take a moment, take a breath, feel into that, and push into that question of why. Why do I let that happen? What in me feels like I'm not worth it? And you might get the feelings like you want to cry, you want to scream, you want to let it out. I did at that space in my life. After that dinner, it was like a Friday night, and like the high school football games were going on, and I could not bring myself to go home and be in the space with my ex-husband and my kids because I wanted to hide. And I said, I'm going to go to the football game. And one of my kids are like, oh, you're going to go without like me or whatever? And I'm like, I'm going to go meet, my friend's going to be there. I'm going to go watch her son play football. I just lied because I just needed to get out of there. And I was actually running from myself. And if I can offer you this space to like feel that, like we run away from ourselves. I was unable to feel my feelings and push into them and handle them because I didn't know how at that time in my life. I didn't know how. And it was quite a long time after that I finally realized that I don't have boundaries. If you don't have boundaries and you are feeling very low, but you want to make changes, you can. You can make your changes. And I offer you love and light and compassion because I've been there. I've done that. I understand it. And I have thousands of stories of lack of boundaries, that things took place to me. And now that I realize it wasn't to me, it was for me to learn. But I take a long time to learn things. You can learn. You can learn to start putting up boundaries and honoring you. And when you start to put up boundaries and honor you and what is in alignment with you and what feels good to you, that starts to make waves to other people that are used to you having no boundaries, and they're used to you holding up the emotional weight and accepting everything that is thrown at you. So be prepared for some pushback. Once I put up my boundaries, little by little, step by step, pushback became very apparent, especially with my ex-husband. He did not like the fact that I was starting to love myself and to honor myself and to push back a bit. And for me to start creating those boundaries, that came after my awakening like 4 years ago. And I learned that through yoga and sitting in stillness and meditation, and learning to like move my body, and learning how to breathe, and learning how to begin to rebuild myself, or even understand who I was and why have I gotten to this space in my life, and what serves me. How can I get through the rest of my life with loving myself, with having boundaries, with putting love and light out into the world? Because I hadn't received any of that in the proper way, because I couldn't allow that because of my low self-worth and low self-confidence and all that. So let me offer to you to realize you are worthy. You are beautiful. You are a loving human on this earth to learn lessons and to maybe learn those lessons and then be able to turn around and transmute those out to humanity. And that's the space I am now. The lessons that I have learned, the traumas that I have endured and gone back and healed, I am here now because I have risen from the depths up to the light, and I want to offer love and light and hope and peace out to humanity. I am an empath person. I am an empath. I was a people pleaser. I was someone with no boundaries. I took the blame for everything and everybody. Everything was always my fault, which I allowed. So if you're in that space now, I feel you. You can unlearn these things that you have learned. You can go back and heal your wounded inner child. I have videos on the inner child, and I have meditation videos on healing your inner child. You can go back and heal generational trauma. These things that you might not be in the space of like, well, knowing what that is, and you're like, well, what does that even mean? What is an inner child? What is generational trauma? I didn't really know about those things or hear about those things prior to 4 years ago, but I have gotten so much knowledge and education and feelings and awareness of those things, and that just like helps you to release patterns, habits, ingrained feelings and emotions and traumas that are in our subconscious that we don't even know of. And so why did I not have boundaries? Well, I don't know exactly why, but I have a good feeling that it had to do with like generational trauma and my traumatic childhood, which was like, my biological father abandoned me. And then I was raised in an alcoholic household, and my mom was emotionally absent. There was trauma. The cops were coming to our house. There was abuse, all the things that you see on a movie or like a show where you're like, whoa, like that's just so unreal. And like a lot of typical people that are out there watching this, nobody has a beautiful childhood filled with rainbows and unicorns and sunshine. Everybody's got stuff to deal with in their own way, on their own stage. Like I feel like we're all in a play, just on a stage, like getting through all the little details of each stage of life and how we come out of it. We're like, woo, some of us are battered and broken, some of us rise. It just all depends. It's a choice, but you do have the choice to push into these things of lack of boundaries, no boundaries. Why do you feel you're not worth it? Are you unworthy of receiving love? Do you feel unworthy of breathing on this earth? Do you feel unaccepted? Do you feel less than? Do you feel depleted? Do you feel like you're not good enough? All these things are self-limiting beliefs and doubts. And I say this with love, they're not truth. They're not truth. They are within the subconscious, and they can be released through some tough healing modalities. And I've been there and I've done that, and I can offer you what I know and what worked for me. And like I've mentioned before, it's a choice. You can choose to gain love and acceptance for yourself and figure out why are you the way that you are. Go deep into the psychology of it. That just fascinates me so much. I'm so passionate about this human psychology and why we feel the way we do and why we do the things we do. And something very cool that I have learned back when I was taking my early childhood education units to become a teacher was like Carl Jung and the psychoanalyst who just, what do I want to say? He was a beautiful man that helped so many people and then went deep into the minds and even into his own psyche to figure out why and how and when So if you have an opportunity, look up Carl Jung. It goes into very deep psychological aspects of our mind and our brain and our whole aspects of everything about our human selves. It's beautiful. But you can push into your fears and your shame and your guilt and release that. You can. I say this with love. It's hard. It's going to take time. It's going to take commitment, and it's going to take you touching on some dark aspects of yourself that you might be scared to go into, called the shadow. I was very fearful of the darkness and the shadows because I didn't think that I had any, and I just always tried to prevent everybody, including me and everybody else in my circle, from having any hardness, any darkness, succumbing to any kind of uncomfortableness, which I now know that I was depleting everybody from their own growth and their own space. So push into those shadows. Honor yourself. Allow yourself grace. You can have the opportunity to unlearn and to heal. It's available. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. I will definitely get back with you. I can guide you through certain spaces if you need guidance. I offer you my true raw stories of my wisdom, my knowledge, my pain, all the things that I have gone through. There's Mittens, my assistant. So know that you are worthy. You are loved. You are worth everything in this world just for the simple fact that you were born and you are here. You don't have to earn anything. You are enough. Thank you for being here. If you like this channel, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I say this with love. Namaste.